The School of Informatics and Creative Arts is certainly marching with the times, and this year they have a new course on offer on the CAO, Mathematics and Data Science. Now, we thought it was important to give you an idea of the types of avenues open to you should you want to take your love of maths and statistics into your CAO choices. PJ O'Kane, VP Technical Marketing and Innovation from First Derivatives, a global technology and data analytics company based in Newry, County Down, has joined us here in DKIT today to explain the world of fintech and the opportunities that lie within this field. Now, PJ, I've heard the term, fintech and data analytics, but could you outline what data science actually means?
What it actually means. Well, data science has been around for a number of years, but it's just started to gone mainstream. It's about combining maths and statistics with technology and operating it on big data to try and get information from it. And things that's part of our everyday life, predictive text, recommendations you get for music, these are all fed by data analytics. And it really achieved significance during the pandemic because it helped whenever they were planning the clinical trials to identify who to run them on, where to run them, and then it was processing those results to what would deliver to us was the vaccines in quicker time than would otherwise have been delivered.
Wow, and how is it used in areas like, finance and industry?
Well, quite varied. Finance has been using it for a while in an area that they call program trading or algorithmic trading, and that's where effectively the machines are doing the work for you. And then in industry, it's really any industry that's using data at this stage is using analytics because there is so much data around, and it's generally accepted that the only way to achieve competitive edge is to process that data. So quite a number of ways. Take a simple example, take something like, say, LinkedIn was a good example, that whenever it started off, the number of connections was quite small between people because people would choose their own connections. Yeah. They put data analytics in behind that and they said, oh, you know this person, you may know that person. And it was when they started to feed suggestions to people that the whole thing took off. So it's feeding industries in that sort of way.
Right. Now, I'm the kind of guy who needs a calculator to multiply 100 by 2. But say, for example, I was a student who loved maths and statistics. Would you encourage me to think about data science as, a possible career choice? If so, why?
Well, very much so. I mean, if you like math, certainly that's a prerequisite for going into data science. But if you also like technology, it's definitely for you. Previously, the outlets for maths and science were probably mainly academic, research, actuary. But now, as I mentioned, all industries are using data, so there's opportunities there everywhere. So without doubt, if you've got any sort of curiosity, definitely move into the data science because you're going to explore fields that really you wouldn't have known about before. And the applications to which it's put are quite surprising. As I said to you, you're doing a search on Google, the predictive text that's coming up has been fed by analytics. It's just permeating our everyday life. The voice assistant you have at home is in many ways powered by data analytics, so it's just everywhere, so it's interesting.
Amazing. I remember, I think I did I read something about First Derivative working with Formula One? Does that work? How does the data science work in that kind of industry?
Yeah, well actually, for anyone who's interested in that, rather than listen to me, if they just Google it on YouTube, there's some really, really interesting videos that show how data science is used there. We're with 2 of the Formula One teams as it happens. Now
really?
They use it because they use it both in the design phase and in the race time. So at design time, the cars change every year. Yeah. New regulations come out, so they have to redesign them. Now a lot of that is done through wind tunnel, and a lot of that is just huge amounts of data processing you're going through to refine the design that you're doing.
Is this where they fit the grid on the car and
yeah,
the sides of it?
That's correct. All of that stuff, and you see all the fluid dynamics.
The way the wind goes
through. That's correct. Yeah, that's all data analytics is what's been done there.
Here's a question that I've just thought of right now. You know the way they had the grid on the car, and it goes over the 2 sides of it. Yeah. Would you only need one side to have the grid? So because you can get, is it not the same data on the same side?
So there's different dynamics all around it. Yeah. So it has to be done throughout the entire thing. Amazing. And that's what happens then is there's something like a number of hundred sensors on a car when it comes to race time.
Yes.
And they're all feeding back information, something like a million data points per second. It's just huge. So they're analyzing the driver behavior, the braking, the speed, tires, which are then determining things like, you know, the pit stop strategies that they have.
Yeah.
So it's just, it goes so, and your question was Formula One, where does it go from? Well, from design right through to track time.
That's amazing.
But it is fascinating for anyone who's interested to just do a YouTube search for, a predictive YouTube search for Formula One data analytics.
I will, that sounds amazing. What would you look for in, you know, graduates?
Well, you certainly want them to be numerate and to be mathematically inclined. That is a prerequisite. To be interested in technology is a benefit. It is not as much a prerequisite because you'll be taught that. And the thing is, the technology is changing all the time. And that's one thing that someone should embrace when they're coming into data science, is they're not going to learn a set of technologies that are going to do with them for the rest of their career. It's changing all the time, all the time. But the overriding thing, I would say, is to have curiosity. Because what data science is about is, in many ways, it's exploring the unknown. You've got data, you don't know what it's going to reveal. You run all this technology on it, it comes out with something, then you've got to investigate it, then you've got to explain it. So in many ways it's multifaceted, because it's not just academic research, it's investigation, and then it's communication at the end, which is a very important aspect as well, because you do have to communicate what your findings are.
Of course, yeah. Now, you offer a graduate program, I saw. What would that entail?
Yeah, we do. We take on around about 300 per year normally, of which about 50 would be data scientists. So they'll come in, and there's a well-structured induction for the first month where everyone comes together and go through a set of courses. But then you've got a 2-year internal program where there's you'll be sent out working on a client site, maybe in a Formula One environment, maybe in a banking environment, could be anything. But you'll do this course, this set of a graduate program. But then there will be continuous professional development as well, which I think in any career will have, but particularly the data science, you have continuous professional development, which means you're doing more and more courses. So getting certified in things like cloud technologies, whatever other professional courses are coming out in capital markets, if you're more interested in finance than you are in industry. But there's certainly an initial program, and then continuous development throughout, professional development throughout the career.
PJ, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you talking to me. And Carla, you're on the right to me. I don't want you to feel like you're being ignored here. But you are so qualified to assist any student, you know, who's considering this area. What drawed you to this area of study?
I actually have a degree in computer science.
Right.
So I kind of work a lot with numbers and problem solving in the software industry. And then when I realized there was a huge opportunity in the data analytics field, I decided to take the opportunity and get involved, get enrolled in the KIT, in the Masters in Data Analytics. And this program gave me all the skills and everything to work in this type of industry.
Right.
So that was the reason that I got into it.
Amazing. If I was a student, you know, watching this today who loved maths and all guises, what else should I be good at? You know, what else should I be interested in, you know, to really excel in this area?
Actually, I will say kind of the same as PG, because he said curiosity. So that's one of the most important things, because you can have all this data and all these numbers, and you can stare at it and say, okay, it's just data. But actually he's saying a story behind everything that is there. So you could say, for example, predict something that is happening in the business, helping for the decisions around business to improve the business.
Right.
So also you have to be really interested in computing, that the program also will teach you how to coding. So that will be a really good thing about getting enrolled in this course. Also, in general, problem solving too.
Yeah. Do you like problem solving?
Yeah. I like it a lot.
If I was thinking about, you know, computing, is the BSc honours in maths and data science, you know, at DKIT is something I should consider?
Yeah, definitely, because it's a combination of math, statistics, and computing. So it's a really good option for people who is considering computing. And also it will give you all the experience to get involved in this type of industry.
And why is DKIT, you know, good for someone wishing to study data analytics?
In my experience, I really love that there was a lot of practice around the knowledge that all the lecturers and all the staff teach you. For example, we started with statistics and we ended up with machine learning. So all that path gave me the opportunity to or to design my dissertation in a proper way. For example, for my dissertation, I analyzed the sentiment of the people in Ireland about the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
And I have to analyze if it was negative, positive, or neutral. And it was a really good experience. And with everything that I have learned from the masters, it wouldn't be possible for me to do it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, PJ and Carla, thank you so much for joining me today.
More than welcome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.